Okay, in this video we're going to show you how to change your starter motor on your Volkswagen Golf or Bora 1.9 TDI. Now the first thing we've got to do is start off by removing the battery itself. Now this should be quite easy. It's a 10mm socket on your terminals, and usually you've got a clamp at the bottom which holds it, which secures the battery. That's usually a 13mm. So just release the clamps you need to remove and lift it up out. Now the battery tray is held down by these 4 screws as I'm showing here. They're slightly corroded by the battery, that is. They're 10mm screws, they're 10mm bolts, so use your 10mm socket and just go through it. Now I've sped it up a little bit here, but this is all pretty simple, easy stuff, just undo them basically. You can get rid of the corrosion. If the corrosion is bothering you, you can get rid of it with just some hot water. That should generally clear it up, but yeah, it's pretty simple, just undo it and then remove the battery tray itself. Now it's going to need a little bit of a wiggle out to get around the fuse box and the internal wiring, the part of the wiring loom. So just work with it. Don't be too brutal with it because it is plastic and it will just break on you. Now this gives us a lot more access to the actual starter motor itself, as you can see what I'm trying to show you here. Now this starter motor looks rough on the outside, but there's some sort of a leak which made the outside corrode a little bit, so it looks worse than it really is. Now I've started off by once again using a 10mm socket to remove the negative terminal that goes to the starter motor. So like I said, it's just a 10mm socket, it's just a 10mm spade socket. Actually that might be 13, sorry, I didn't remember it exactly as I was going through it, but you need to remove the negative terminal. I think it's a 30mm if I'm correct. It's going to need a bit of a wiggle because it is a heavy gauge wire. And then you've also got a spring clip onto the solenoid. Just remove that in the usual way. As you can see, I'm just lifting it up. Should have got a bit closer, but then it will just slide back. Now you're trying to create as much space as possible when you're in this area, so back the wiring loom up and make sure you've got access to everything you need to get access to. Now this is held by 2 bolts. It's only 2 bolts. If I remember, they're 16mm bolts. If I remember, I've done really poorly today on the actual measuring, but once you get it on, just give it a twist. Now if you are putting it back on, make sure they are torqued back up to spec, but once you take them off, you can just take them off pretty easily. Now I've loosened it, and I haven't totally taken out, don't totally take out the bolt yet, but I've just loosened it enough to give me enough movement. When it comes to me actually wiggling it out, it's not going to be too much of a problem. So this is what I had done. You know, you could do it another way where you undo the bottom first, but just for this purposes I did this like this. So I left it in the top. Now this is from the underside of the starter motor. The starter motor has a clamp which holds this metal power steering pipe. That's held on initially by a 10mm socket. As you can see, me just crack it there, but once you've cracked it, it's pretty easy just to come off. So I generally, as you've seen me do in my other videos, I just use my hand. Once it's loose enough to use my hand, I just use my hand. So with your 10mm, just unloosen that bolt so you can remove that holding arm which holds the power steering pipe onto the starter motor itself, which routes it round. Now behind there is the actual nut that holds the starter motor to the gearbox. You're going to have to remove that. That's the same size as the top. It's either 16. I think it's a 16. But with your 16mm socket, I didn't really get a good shot for you here. Just start to undo it. Just undo it. I didn't even have to raise the car up to do this, which was pretty good. But like I always do, once I get it loose enough, I just try to undo it with my hand itself. As you can see, it's all very simple stuff. Okay, it can be a bit wiggly in here, so I would advise, if you're going to use an extension, get a wobbly bit extension. That's the one that you're able to move a little bit left and right with. But as you can see, once you've cracked the bolt itself, it's pretty easy to do by hand. So just undo it by hand and take your time. There you go, pulling it out. Now it should slide out pretty easily. There you go. Shouldn't need too much hassle. Now you should remember which way these bolts go on. Obviously the one at the bottom's got the little bit of extra at the bottom, so just don't put it on by mistake. So now we can fully release the bolt that's in the top of the starter motor itself. Now we've cleared all the space around us, so we've got a lot of space to work in. This is what's pretty good about this job. It is not hard at all. There you go. Pulled it out. That's how you do it. That's how you remove your starter motor. Comment, rate, subscribe, and join my Facebook. Join my Facebook. Thanks for watching.